Hi, I'm V. Kumar. I go by VK. I hold the Richard Lenny Distinguished Chair Professor in Marketing at the J. Mac Robinson College of Business and Georgia State University, Atlanta. I also visit ISB for the last 7 years. I've been visiting ISB to teach marketing strategy here. And in this occasion here at this time in term 7, I have the opportunity to share with you some of my research that I've done in the area of social media marketing campaign. And I want to bring to you the success story behind this. Not only the success story, but also discuss the process, how we measure the success of this campaign, and what is in it for the industry, the practitioners, in terms of adopting this methodology as well as doing it in a cost-effective basis. The motivation for this research in terms of the social media campaign came about when Google and WPP, which is one of the largest marketing research organizations in the world, suggested a competition worldwide to say that who can come up with a methodology that can measure the influence of individuals in the social media as well as mobile. So what we undertook, me and my doctoral student at Georgia State University did was to come up with a methodology to measure this and presented it to Google. We entered the competition, and fortune behold, we were one of the few winners selected for the framework and the methodology we proposed. But the challenge was, will this work in a real world setting? So we had to find a retailer who is willing to adopt this methodology. But any retailer would say yes, but the critical thing here is for them to give us access to their point of sales cash register so that we can connect our computer to the point of sales to measure the sales impact of a word of mouth campaign in the social media. So we found this ice cream retailer, Hokey Pokey in India, started in Mumbai and now spread over 4 states, slowly expanding to all over India over the next couple of years. So what really happened here? The first thing is to really find a cost-effective way, which means you need to find individuals who are already talking, chatting in the social media. What we mean by social media here is pretty much Facebook and Twitter as the 2 major platforms. So we monitored the conversations of individuals in Mumbai about many topics using Facebook and Twitter. And they had to opt in, and sometimes we can easily monitor because they've already opted in and see what kind of individuals talk a lot and how far the message spreads. So not everyone is able to spread the message farther. So we were able to find how far it spreads and who are influential in converting that message into sales. That's the bottom line. And so when we monitored the conversation, we found, say, 10% of the individuals are able to spread the message farther, the farthest. Which means, are they unique individuals? Do they have special traits or characteristics that we can identify? And we were able to do so, identified the characters, maybe like 6 or 7, and use that to identify individuals in the whole city who can be influential in different areas of Mumbai. And not only that, we were also able to identify who is specifically able to talk about ice cream as such in the social media. So we were able to recruit individuals who were talking about ice cream and made them part of the social media campaign, brought them into Hokey Pokey, gave them training about what this parlor is about and what kind of ice creams, what kind of creations are made. And then they were sent out to say, spread the word. They not only sent more people to the ice cream parlor, but we were also able to tag each and every individual's message. So what did they do? Each one of these seed users, which we call as the message creator, they went to the ice cream parlor and made their own creations. And they all had a hashtag, if you were to tweet it, it comes with a hashtag. And they spread it with the hashtag saying that go on and eat this ice cream. Like this, there were 203 people spreading the word, competing for the first prize on a weekly basis, who were able to spread the message to most number of people, and who were able to convert it to sales. So we did this for a period of 16 months, this kind of campaign, monitoring on a weekly basis. At the end, we were able to demonstrate that what kind of individuals will have what kind of customer influence effect, which is one of the metrics, CIE, that we developed, and what kind of conversion into sales, which is customer influence value, CIV, they are able to generate. So what we achieved through the study was to find out, in a given city like in New York City or in Hyderabad or in Delhi, we can look at these traits and pick individuals up front, say who will be influential in spreading the message, meaning who will have the highest CIE, and who will be influential in converting that to sales, meaning who will have the highest CIV, customer influence value. So with this, we were able to generate a lot of buzz about the ice cream at a very low cost. In this specific study, the ROI of this campaign was increased by 83% compared to what the company was doing, Hokey Pokey was doing. And what are the typical costs associated with this kind of campaign? Pretty much leasing the software, the PHP software that we write in this language to monitor the conversations and track the sales at the ice cream parlor, connect those two. And on a lease basis, it's very minimal. And also, we were able to give rewards in the form of t-shirts, posters, and pictures with celebrities, photo shoot with celebrities at the ice cream parlor, and so on. So therefore, the cost was minimal. Also, some of the costs include training the parlor boys to receive these new customers who are coming in, mentioning the hashtag and entering that into the system. So some kind of training was required. And also for the seed users to come periodically and taste the ice cream and modify the creation. So that was done on a complimentary basis. So that was part of the cost. But if you realize, all these costs are very minimal, and the sales gain was phenomenal. Therefore, there was an increase of 83% in ROI. But the sales growth itself, which the company was experiencing, on a certain path, out of which 40% of the growth, sales growth, was attributed to this campaign. And most importantly, the word of mouth that Hokey Pokey had about their ice creams before the launch of the campaign, say it was X, now it was 34 times more positive word of mouth that was created. One of the key aspects of this study was that, can you really monitor negative word of mouth and measure the impact of the negative word of mouth? What we did here was, some people didn't like the ice cream. They spread the word. So before the campaign, say the negative word of mouth was, say, 10 conversations. Now it was like maybe 100 conversations, 10 times more negative word of mouth. But then you got to balance that with 34, 35 times more positive word of mouth. So net, the influence of negative word of mouth caused the sales to go down only by 5%, whereas the sales due to positive word of mouth went up by 10%. So the saying that goes that negative word of mouth is 7 times more harmful, all those anecdotal evidence in the past, does not hold good in the social media, in the experiment that we have done and demonstrated empirically. So all manufacturers have to gain today is to be able to create a campaign, find the right seed users, plant the right message, and let them loose so that they spread the word for some kind of incentives that is aligned with the value proposition the seed users are seeking, and also market the product, which is, given is that a high quality product or a high quality service, given that they are able to maximize the ROI and sales. And this is just one evidence of what it is, and we continue to do this with other industries in terms of the high-tech industry as well as the service industry and so on. So this is what we find as a success story. So you can pause and ask, we want me to cover anything else, I can do that. Yeah, in terms of the trends in social media, clearly developed countries dominate the penetration of the social media. But even in emerging economies, you see this growing. One of the key reasons why we wanted to test our model in the emerging economy is to show that here is where the growth is taking place in the emerging economy. And there is a compelling need for a new kind of marketing strategy because the competition is severe, the market is growing, and it is not, and the infrastructure is not out there to do the traditional marketing campaign. But you can mobilize a force, a student force or a community in talking about this product in a positive manner and use that, because this is also, most of these emerging economies are high context cultures, meaning that people reach out to other people more closely in all these emerging economies, which is unlike the developed countries, the Western Europe and the US, which is a low context culture, meaning that one would not even know their neighbor's name, whereas here we even know the names of people who live down in another part of the city. So that is the extent to which these people are connected here, and therefore you see more and more increased use of the social media in these emerging economies as the future. Also, these emerging economies have leapfrogged with the use of mobile podcasting and mobile technology. So you can see, we used mobile to a large extent in terms of tweeting, as well as the computer, the social network platforms in terms of the Facebook. So both platforms were used. So mobile was a key part in making this program a successful one. So I see this continuing and morphing into more and more industries using this, as well as more countries following this as the next trend. Thank you.